Last Thursday, the Pope made an announcement that he wanted to save the planet from climate change. And in order to do that, he suggested initiating a global ruler, which many Christians know this end-time global ruler as the AntiChrist. Take a look at this article that I originally found on stevequayle.com. If you've not checked out his website, I highly encourage you to do so. But it led me to Skywatch TV report that was published May 7th. And it's titled, Petrus Romanos calls for new globalist supranatural authorities to rule countries and enforce United Nations goals. It goes on to state that Pope Francis made a strong new push for globalism on Thursday, calling for a supranatural, legally constituted body to enforce UN Sustainable Development Goals and implement climate change policies. The thrust of the Pope's remarks, however, were focused on the growing trends toward nationalism, which he said threatens migrants, the universal common good, and the power of the UN and other transnational bodies to implement the Sustainable Development Goal agenda. In other words, the Pope plans to initiate the Antichrist rule and use Agenda 21 as his playbook. You know, Agenda 21 that basically says it's bad to breathe out carbon dioxide. You know, Agenda 21 that imposes high taxes on any and all CO2 use. Yes, the Agenda 21 that also encourages stimulants in the water and less reproduction of, well, humankind because we are overpopulated. This is exactly what the Pope has in store. But you know, it's not just the Pope wanting to usher in the Antichrist rule. In fact, the mainstream media over the past 2 days has been supporting the Pope by, well, making humankind the enemy. Is it a coincidence that only days after the Pope made that announcement that suddenly the mainstream media starts attacking humans? Take a look at these articles from mainstream media sources. The first one here is from science.com, published May 6th. Human drugs are polluting the water and animals are swimming in it. APnews.com, May 6th. UN report, humans accelerating extinction of other species. CNN.com on May 7th, 1 million species threatened with extinction because of humans. The New York Times.com, May 7th, humans are speeding extinction and altering the natural world at an unprecedented pace. BBC.com, May 6th, nature's crisis. Humans threaten 1 million species with extinction. Rawstory.com, May 6th, 1 million animal and plant species have been pushed to the brink of extinction by human activity, according to a UN report. TheGuardian.com, human society under urgent threat from loss of Earth's natural life. Again, I ask, is it just a coincidence that days after the Pope makes this announcement, that suddenly the mainstream media starts pushing the idea that humans are a problem and that we need to have a solution to this problem? And that solution that has been suggested by the Pope just so happens to be a global dictator of some sort that wants to push Agenda 2030, also known as Agenda 21 rules and regulations. You see, here's the truth, and I'm going to be blunt with you. Species are dying in mass. A lot of them are affected and impacted, but it's not because of the things that the mainstream media is telling you. No, the truth is they're being impacted by the chemicals that are being sprayed on us from the skies. We're talking geoengineering, aerosol injections, also known as chemtrails. These things come down on not only humankind, but species. I'm talking about strontium, barium, and aluminum hitting the surface of the ground. Not to mention Roundup that has been sprayed on the pesticides and all around our homes. And not to mention Fukushima, things which have leaked into our ocean, things which the mainstream media won't even discuss or talk about. Or how about the smart meters and the cell phones that are constantly radiating our bodies? These are also having effects on species and human nature. Or how about the fluoride and the pesticides and the chemicals and the pharmaceuticals that Big Pharma is putting in our water supply? You see, Agenda 21 talks about overpopulation, another lie that we're told. But basically, they want to shrink down the population, and they use things like sterilants in order to do that. The truth is, the globalists have created an issue. That problem or issue is global warming. And they've also offered the solution to a problem that they've created. That solution is the United Nations and a global ruling body. Is it any coincidence that the Bible warned us of this global ruling body in the end times? That the Bible told us that in the latter days there would be a one world dictator? Well, this is exactly what we're seeing. And you want to know something else? In order to get us to this smaller, more controllable state, they're even poisoning our water. Take a look at this article from CBSNews.com. New study claims 43 states expose millions to dangerous chemicals in drinking water. The article states a new report by the nonprofit Environmental Working Group and Northeastern University finds people in nearly every state in the country are exposed to unhealthy drinking water. According to researchers, 43 states have locations, including drinking water sites, contaminated with PFAS. Chemicals that are used in goods such as cleaners, textiles, leathers, papers, and the like. The CDC says these chemicals have been linked to health issues that include birth defects, cancers, and infertility. The study compiled information taken from the Pentagon data and water utility reports. It shows an estimated 19 million people are exposed to contaminated water. Researchers found at least 610 contaminated locations ranging from public water systems and military bases to civilian airports, industrial plants, dumps, and even firefighter training sites. Is it yet just another coincidence that these things in our water just so happen to cause cancer and infertility? Well, I guess I'll let you decide on that. Anyhow, I wanted to bring you all the information and show you the truth of what's really going on. Keep in mind that every mainstream media report that you watch on television, from CNN, MSNBC, ABC, and the like, they all have an agenda. The agenda is always the same: to push you towards Agenda 21, to push you towards the like-mindedness of a global New World Order. Things that the Bible warned about. And they're pushing that agenda en masse. Even the Pope has jumped in on the bandwagon. Anyhow, please don't forget to subscribe to my website if you like it, and also give me a thumbs up. If you want to donate, you can also do that on Patreon. I've got a link below in the description box. Anyhow, thanks again for tuning in. I'm Lisa Haven, signing out.